Hi, this is Mike Gormley. Welcome back to the Mike Gormley Show with special guest Vicki Peterson. We just heard, actually, we heard Richard and Linda Thompson singing a song called
Hmm.
"Of Death," which is this, but it's the song you picked for us to hear. You just love it. That's it.
I do, and I was just able to sing that song with Teddy Thompson at City Winery at the celebration of Linda Thompson's new record, Proxy Music, and it was a really fun song to sing. It was one of the crowd pleasers of the night because it's a favorite Richard and Linda song from their album Shoot Out the Lights, and I just had such a good time doing that and singing the Richard part on that one. Um,
You sang the Richard part.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
We changed the key.
Okay. It's won't get into the song a whole very deeply, but Wall of Death. And did they write this around the time they were breaking up with,
Well, possibly because it was around that time. I did see the original video, which has some great footage of sort of 1949 um, amusement park shots of stunt cycle riders riding
Oh
in
my,
this
oh
like
yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
centrifuge. So that's what that was, which I didn't even realize. But I'm sure it's a little more allegorical than that. But they do use that visual, which is pretty great.
All right. Very cool. Well, it's nice of you to educate us on some good music, because I'll bet
There you
not too
go.
many people know that about Richard. They may know Richard Thompson at this point, but he
Yes.
keeps touring. But good to hear it anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
they were a great husband and wife team.
did anybody record that show, or that you were?
Yes, actually, it was recorded for audio, so we'll see what happens with that.
May pop up someday.
It was in May.
Well, it's it's interesting to hear the influences of your music, because if you
Hmm.
go way back, there was a lot of folk in there, wasn't there? And it wasn't all rock and roll or pop music.
No, absolutely. I mean, I know Susanna and I definitely shared and Michael. What am I saying? Michael Steele shared a worship of Joni Mitchell and several other folk artists. Actually, I remember the night I went up to Michael Steele at an after hours party, uh, and that we had just played. It was probably 4 in the morning, and she was there. I think she was kind of lurking around, checking us out to see if she maybe wanted to be involved in the bangs. And I theoretically asked her, if you could have your ideal band, what would it sound like? And she said it would be um, the Kinks with Fairport Convention vocals. And I just went, "You're on, girl."
The
And
right combination.
you have got it. So
Boy, I'd like to hear that.
I know, right? I mean, so that's what we were going for. I mean, we were a sort of rough around the edges garage band that sang, beautifully.
Yeah. And 60s music had a lot. I mean, you were a big Beatles fan. I
Oh
remember,
yeah.
I remember you you may not have known too much about like 50s rock, but
Mm-mm.
talked about Beatles and thereon, you were experts, all four of you.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to meet one of them, I believe.
I met Paul McCartney. I had quite a extensive conversation with him. We were made companions of LIPA, which is the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts, and the we had done a master class when we were in Liverpool, and the graduating class gets to choose which of the visiting artists from that year that they want to nominate as the companions. Sort of like having an honorary doctorate in a way,
Sure.
um, along with silly hats. I had to wear a silly hat. So Michael and I actually flew across and accepted the honor from Paul,
Hmm.
and sat in the auditorium where he and George used to sit when they were in school, in art school.
Oh,
And
amazing.
it was quite an amazing, it was quite a honor actually on every level.
There was, and again, we're talking about harmonies and then great Beatles harmonies. So that's been important right from the
Oh
beginning.
yeah.
What about you and your sister? Were you harmonizing in the earlier bands?
We harmonized in the back of the Buick when we were little.
Oh, yeah.
We were those kids. I mean, we would sing, and then we would sort of not fight over parts, but it's just like, you're going, oh, I'll go up. Are you go? No, you just went up. No, I'll go down. Okay. And we would find, and settle on parts. So we had a lot of early training, just self-taught in the back of the car, singing along with the radio.
Your parents were very supportive. I remember they were there when everything was going on. They were helping where they could.
They were on so many levels, and they were so tolerant of us practicing in the living room when we were in high school. And oh my God, it was god awful noises. And my dad built a bass cabinet for us, and we used the family Buick to tool around in, and yeah, they were immensely supportive and very proud of us. And they ran our fan club for years. They and our older sister Pam.
You did what?
They ran our fan club.
Oh, ran the fan club. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, the Bangles fan club. Yeah.
Yeah. They were right there. Well, it's nice to have parents who care.
Isn't it? We were very, very fortunate people.
I'm not sure how to ask this. We're back on Bangles again. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
It's our shared history. Come on.
What's it like for a musician to achieve such heights? It's a lot of hard work. It can be a lot of pressure. But did you have a chance to sit back and go, oh my God, look where we are? Was there a moment or two like that?
It's interesting because, like I mentioned, I'd met the Cowsills earlier, and I stayed in touch with Bob Cowsill, who was one of the older brothers in the band. And he was the one who would get on the phone with me. And as soon as we had, we started to chart with Manic Monday, and he would say, okay, are you getting this? Are you enjoying it? Because he knew from experience that it doesn't last, and it's a fleeting moment, and it's amazing. As you said, it's not the norm. It's not what normally happens to people who, grow up wanting to be in a band. And I have to admit, I would say, yeah, but, and there was always a but, yeah, but I really wish they picked this for the next single, or yeah, but I wish this would happen, and I don't think I was very good at that time at being in the moment. Mm-hmm. And although I have incredible memories and a huge appreciation and sense of gratitude for what happened, and also the awareness of how, for as talented as the band was, and as a talent as a team as we had, including David Kahn as producer, even though he drove us all crazy, but he was, just phenomenally intelligent and talented. I think I didn't really appreciate it as much as I should, because there was always something around the corner. And some of that is, like you said, there's pressure, and people go, what does that even mean, pressure? But you are being told every moment that if you don't hit this right now, it's all going to go away. If you don't get up at 4 a.m. and do this breakfast TV show, nothing's going to happen. If you don't do this, and if you aren't here and do this right, it's all going to blow up in your face.
Okay, I feel guilty enough. Thank you.
All right, there you go. You were always so nice about it, though, Mike, I have to say.
Yeah, it's only 4 o'clock.
Yeah, right. Come on, sleep, whatever.
Yeah,
sleep
right.
When you're dead.
Well, but it's true. It's not quite like if you don't do this, it'll all fall apart. But there were times, there were times where the Bangles had to do something to make something else happen, or any band has to do that. And when you look back at some of the bands that refused to do it, you don't really know who they are anymore. There's a side to the whole thing that's crushing at times.
Yes. And there's a balance, though. Like I said, if at one point we had been able to stop and take stock and really honestly have a conversation and say, this is not feeling good. We're no longer having fun. And the whole point of this is to have fun. So if we're not having fun, we shouldn't be doing it. And so maybe let's take a breather. But it didn't work out that way. It's sort of, it imploded instead.
Yeah. And how long, you said you guys were apart for 10 years, but there was communication in that period of
Oh
time.
yeah, absolutely.
It
I
was
stay in touch with everybody. And there was, starting around the mid 90s, I started getting calls from Susanna every now and then, just like, hey, so, you know, we got this offer to do this or that. What do you think about maybe coming back? And I was dead set, like, as annoyingly stubborn as I was to try and keep the band together, I was feeling equally happy to be in New Orleans playing with the Continental Drifters. And the idea of going back into that crazy pressure cooker was not appealing to me at all. And then finally I said to her, if you're talking about writing new music and being an actual creative entity again, then I will think about that. Let's think about that. And so we did. We started writing songs via mail, actually. This is the 90s, so we were sending cassettes back and forth, believe it or not, and started writing songs together.
All right, we're going to head out to another commercial here, and the song we're going to listen to is not a Bangles song that will come to people's minds right away. It's a song called "That's What You Always Say." And did you wrote that?
No, actually, it's a Dream Syndicate song.
Oh, it is a Dream Syndicate. That's right. Yeah.
It is written by Steve Wynn, and it's one of the songs that we covered on the 3x4 album, where the Paisley Underground recorded each other's material.
That was a few years ago, right?
Yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah, it's probably a very interesting. I haven't heard it, but when I heard about
it, you'll love it.
Yeah, has to be good. Well, here's a little piece of it anyway. That's what you always say. Off we go into a commercial with music. And this is the Mike Gormley Show. Come on back and talk with VICKI Peterson some more.